Can Curlsmith's Bond Curl Rehab Salve dethrone Olaplex number 3? Or is it even comparable? I've seen quite a few articles and stories lately about Curlsmith. I love them. I work with them at JCPenney, but I also work with Olaplex too. Olaplex's take-home number 3 treatment has been reigning hair royalty for quite some time now, but there's been some buzz about Curlsmith's Bond Curl Rehab. So today I'm going to pit them against one another. I'm going to bring in a special guest, and we're going to try half of the head with Olaplex number 3, the other half of the head with the Curlsmith product. And then we're going to compare the two and see how they go. So without further ado, let me bring in my special guest and we'll get this party started. All right, so as promised, this is my special guest, Joseph. He's going to be my test subject today. The cool thing about both of the systems, about the Olaplex and the Curlsmith system, is that they're both pre-treatments. So they're meant to be put on damp hair. They process for 15 minutes or more, depending on how much you feel like you think you need. And then you rinse out the hair and shampoo and condition as normal. So they're all pre-treatments, and they're never something that you'd treat like a deep conditioner, where you'd put it in for however long after you shampoo and then just rinse it out. You always shampoo both of them out. So first thing we're going to do is dampen Joseph's hair, and we'll do this side with Curlsmith and this side with Olaplex, and we'll see what we get. Now we got the Olaplex on this side and the Curlsmith on this side. Any observations I make right away is honestly they feel really similar. The Curlsmith feels a little slicker.
Yeah, one of them, I don't know which is which, but one of
Yeah.
them feels a little bit more like liquidy. I don't know.
Which one?
Let me feel them. This one. No, this one. This one definitely feels liquidier.
This one does feel a little bit more like a salve, a little liquidier. It's also meant to benefit the scalp. So it's directly labeled to benefit the scalp and be good for dry scalp, which is a very common curly hair issue. Whereas the Olaplex number 3 is really all about the hair. So the whole thing about these is Olaplex has a proprietary ingredient called bisaminopropyl diglycol dimaleate. They have a patent on this mixture of ingredients. Sounds super fancy, really long word. What Olaplex claims it does is helps repair disulfide bonds, which are the permanent chemical bonds in the hair. When you subject your hair to any sort of damage, chemical damage, even sun damage, even just environmental damage, hair grows about 6 to 12 inches a year, which means like this is pandemic hair down at the ends. Like this is lockdown hair, I should say. So this could use some repairing. When the disulfide bonds are broken, they produce cysteic acid, which essentially makes the hair eat itself from the inside out. The largest benefit of Olaplex isn't necessarily to repair the damage that's been done, but to help prevent further damage. For Curlsmith, this is rich in plant proteins. There's also some other ingredients that aren't bisaminopropyl diglycol dimaleate, but they are meant to repair the hair. In clinical trials, clinical being the beauty term, not an actual clinic, people felt like their hair felt better in direct comparisons with the Curlsmith versus the Olaplex number 3. We'll see how they go. We can check your scalp and your hair and see how your curls do after we complete the treatment. All right, so we are back. We have shampooed both sides with the same shampoo. We're going to follow Joseph's normal routine, which he's got looser waves or curls that tend to fall under tension or fall when they get wet rather than to spring up. So we try to avoid any heavy conditioners. We're going to use a leave-in conditioner to style and see how everything feels. First impression, they feel pretty similar, but I almost feel like, let's see. Now this side is a little bit heavier as far as like the amount of hair. But my first impression is that the Olaplex has an edge. You should feel them too. Tell me what you think.
This one definitely feels more slick.
This one.
This one right here, yes.
Okay.
To me, feels more slick. Yeah, I would say this one feels a bit drier.
All right.
Obviously,
Cool.
it doesn't feel completely dry.
Yeah.
But
That's cool. And that's kind of like the opposite of what I thought I was feeling.
really?
Yeah. So same shampoo on both sides, and I'm going to use the same leave-in conditioner on both sides. That way we can have a consistent the conditions. That way the only variable between the two sides is the treatment that was used. All right, so we've done just a light diffusing, nothing too crazy, with very light amount of product in Joseph's hair. And we're about 80% dry. And I do feel like out of both the sides, I feel like the curl is way more defined and bouncy on this side. How do they feel to you? You can feel
on
them.
my head, they feel the same. In my hands, it's hard to tell. I'd like a mirror, honestly.
Oh, I don't have one of those. Just kidding. Yeah, and we can actually take the cape off at this point.
Yeah.
It gives you a better kind of perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, to me it looks like this definitely has more defined ringlets.
Mm-hmm.
This side right here. And this side just has generally, it's still very curly, but it's not as much of a cylinder. It's not as cylindrical of ringlet.
Yeah, it's not as ringlety.
Ringlety, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the technical term.
Yeah.
Ringlety.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a significant difference in your hair with either of them from when we started?
From when we started, absolutely. From both of them. Both of them made a massive difference. I like them both a lot, honestly. I think I like the ringlets on this side. I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely both a huge difference from when we started.
Yeah. So what is this? 237 milliliters. The Curlsmith is $29, and I think it's a 100 milliliter is $29 for the Olaplex number 3, or a 200 milliliter is like $56. So I think if you had to take that into account, $29 for this or $29 for this.
Yeah, I personally would choose the Curlsmith every time, because the Curlsmith is the ringlety one, right?
Yeah, that's the Curlsmith.
No, yeah, I would take that even if it was slightly more expensive, to be honest.
Oh, that's a good review.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for being my test subject of 1. And thanks for joining. I'll see you guys next time.